all the large content creators are lying to you about xQc's $100 million deal. Like maybe not lying directly, but definitely leaving out very key information that makes the deal look a lot bigger than it actually is. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a huge. xQc was set for life before this deal, and with this deal, he's even more set for life. Like, I guess if he loses that divorce case to Adept, he'll be fine because he just has an extra $100 million. And since this deal was after the divorce started, she's not going to get any of this money if she does win. But the reason why comparing these people to someone like LeBron James, like he's getting paid more than LeBron. LeBron only got 97 million. Let's look at some of the numbers and why it's not as big as it seems. So when you look at the raw numbers, it looks like, wow, these people get paid a lot of money, and he would slot in right before Kevin Durant. xQc is getting paid $50 million a year. That's not really it. He's getting paid $70 million a year with the potential to make $30 million more if he hits some key metrics. So instead of being like the 13th most paid athlete, if he was classified as an athlete, he would drop all the way down to 43, like down between pitchers like Rendon, I believe. Yeah, Rendon and Strasburg is like right around that $35 million range. Still an insane amount of money, but it gets worse. xQc has talked openly before about how when he does deals with like stake, he didn't like doing it where he had like a cash balance involved. He just wanted straight cash, and then he would gamble his own money on stake. So like how a lot of people work, like let's say there's a $2 million contract for stake, and you get paid $1 million cash that you get to keep, and then they would give you $1 million in a balance on stake. So you'd use that $1 million on stake to gamble with. So that's not really your money. You're expected to gamble that and lose it all back to stake. So really, you're only getting paid $1 million. However, xQc thinks that's dishonest. He's talked about this openly before and says he doesn't like doing that. He wants just raw money. So he would get that $2 million deal. However, the deal would say you have to use $1 million of your own money to gamble on stake. So there's like a small distinction without any really difference, but it helps xQc sleep at night. So we'll go with it. So when you look at that $70 million he's getting paid, we know a portion of that is going to be expected to be gambled over the next 2 years on stake, and gambling on stake for how much xQc gambles for is going to be quite a chunk of that contract. So you really can't compare it to athletes, because athletes are just straight cash, especially like baseball players. Like baseball players could sign the contract, get injured the next day, never play a day, and they'd still get 100% of that contract. And the third reason why the $70 million contract isn't nearly as much money as it seems, and the third reason why the $70 million contract isn't as big as it seems, is because, luckily, Pokimane asked a really important question.
Can I ask you something? And you can totally not answer, but I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Did they give you any equity?
Can I talk about that? Can I talk about that?
That's a yes if he said, can I talk about that?
Okay, so he goes on to like say like he really believes in Kick, and he thinks what they're doing is great competition, blah 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 blah. I don't think he ever comes out right and says he gets it, but it's pretty much implied that he did get equity. So if you don't know, equity is like you get a small portion of ownership in the company. So again, it's not cash in his pocket. It's like a percent of Kick, which is really dangerous, especially for Kick. These numbers are just made up, but just for an example of what's so iffy about taking equity in Kick, let's say they give him a 10% stake of Kick. So he owns 10% of the company. And let's say the valuation of Kick's value right now is $100 million. That means that 10% equity would be $10 million. So his $70 million payout is actually a $60 million payout, if you're ignoring all the other stuff I just talked about. Now, the reason why this is super sketchy with Kick is because Kick makes zero money. They don't have any ads and probably aren't going to because of some of their policies, but maybe they'll shape up in the future. And I'll talk about what xQc is saying, and maybe there is hope for Kick. But there's a lot of work to do to make Kick any money because they don't have ads. Their sponsorships that fans can subscribe to their favorite streamer, they take 5%, but really none of that money goes back to Kick if we were to take them at the word. That's just to cover the transaction fee of their payment processors. So really, they get no money off of Kick. So how is Kick sustainable? It's because they're using Kick to funnel people into stake. So stake keeps giving money to Kick to pay for all of their fees to keep the streams up and running, and hoping that enough viewers see people on Kick streaming slots, and then they go to stake and lose their money. So in reality, Kick.com never has to make a cent. It could be worth 0 and stake would be happy, which makes equity in Kick nearly worthless. Unless, of course, Kick is bought by a massive corporation. Because like a lot of startups, the whole goal is to get a huge user base and then to sell it off to a massive corporation. The question is, what corporation is going to want to get into the streaming game after so many giants have failed at it? But that's always a possibility. So it's a very risky gamble. It could pay off huge, or he could be absolutely screwed, which is kind of suiting for xQc because we all know how much he loves gambling. And like, I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan of Kick because I'm not super comfortable with the whole like gambling aspect to it. And like in Ontario, you never used to get gambling sponsorships until recently. And now if you ever watch any kind of sports, you're just inundated with them. And not only is it dangerous for you to do, it's also just super annoying because I'm so tired of seeing gambling ads every time I watch a baseball game. That being said, I even think the Pope would be like, yes, gambling is a sin, it's evil, it's a negative to society. But the Pope would probably be like, but it's $100 million, so I can understand why someone would take it. But it does seem like xQc is going to try to clean up Kick a little bit if we were to take this at face value. Because a big reason why he says he went to Kick is he has like direct input and control on the direction Kick goes, including some of the big streamers on Kick currently.
I think we can just say straight up. It's what I told you earlier about like stuff like the Adin situation. Listen, I've tried to work with Adin in the past like year, and he's a little bit unhinged. Okay, and I genuinely think it's a problem, and I think us being blind to it is fucking stupid. I think some of that shit needs to get 100% fleshed out for things to regain legitimacy, and if that means that it has to be like. I don't know. I'm not gonna be that guy. I just hope that Dow can work with Adin on fixing some of this shit.
So it definitely seems like xQc is tired of the super toxic and like extreme edgy way Kick is being run. So it seems like he's going to try to, if you're reading between the lines, either get them to tame it down or just slowly edge them out, because he's like the #1 streamer for a reason. He has a lot of pull in this stuff. So maybe we'll see Kick become less toxic and less risky to invest in or to have stake in. And this signing is starting off with a bang because Adin clearly saw this, and now their two top streamers seem to be, or at least one of them seems to be upset with the other.
Dude!
Yeah.
It's past the hour mark, bruh! Swap over!
You have the same exact tone that you have when doing bonus.
Guys, it's literally past the hour mark.
Advise.
Eddie?
Holy shit, you're right.
You guys gave him 100 million. Lico, what the? Omegalo. Look at this Lico, bro. You're a bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Why? B-John's in my chat. Yo, everyone have B-John. He's the owner of Kick. B-John, there's no way you guys gave him $100 million for him to... Bro, he's an hour and a half, that's how long I stream. Dude, we're getting B-John.
Yeah, so it's probably not a good look that xQc says, I don't know how I feel about Adin. He seems to be a bad look for the platform. And then Adin does this because xQc doesn't swap over from Twitch to Kick fast enough. Because like the deal is non-exclusive, so xQc can still sign on Twitch because it's going to work like every other deal, and he's going to stream on Twitch, and then later he's going to stream on Kick. However, xQc is known for doing 12, 18, 24-hour streams, so he's going to spend a lot of time on Twitch first. Now, unfortunately for Kick, it doesn't seem like xQc's first stream went that well.
Do you have any idea, like, what about the website? Like, why is it down? Like, how long is it going to be down for?
Yeah. So today we got 50 times the traffic we normally do, as I'm sure some of you saw. We had, which I think this number is a little higher since the site was down, and we had to limit certain things to ensure that at least the stream can go decent.
Yeah.
But just from the announcement of xQc, we had 600,000 new signups.
So it seems like on one hand, it went good that a lot of people went there and a lot of people signed up for Kick with just them signing xQc. But on the downside, when your website can't handle it and it crashes as a streaming website, that's not a good thing. Like Elon Musk was clowned because Twitter stopped working when 200,000 people were listening to audio. So you can't be a streaming platform and be down. But Twitch also goes down sometimes, so it's bound to happen for like a new platform. And with the signing, it obviously gained a lot of traction with fans because people are going to follow the #1 streamer to wherever he's streaming. It's also going to entice some streamers because who wouldn't want a piece of those $100 million contracts that they're handing out?
Well, what do you think is going to happen now with like other content creators? Do you think they're going to, I mean, I'm sure you, how many people do you think have probably hit you up today?
Are we talking like everybody, or are we talking just the people who were shitting on me just a month ago? I'd say at least 100. At least 100 people who were like blatantly, like not just shitting on me, but like we're talking like fully in the, how do I even describe it? Like, I don't want to say delusional, but fully in the like like the conspiracy motherfucker.
So Train has been known to lie in the past, but giving them the benefit of the doubt, 100 streamers wanting to get a piece of that deal. I mean, obviously streamers stream for money, so they want to get paid. But he went on to talk about there is going to be more signings. He talked about how there's going to be like an FPS streamer, or a variety streamer, a personality streamer, whatever that is. I think like one more. So we know at least one of those people is Amaranth. She says she's going to kick as well, which is kind of funny because Train was just talking about how like a bunch of people are hypocrites because just last month they were like making fun of him for all this kick stuff, and now they're asking for a contract when Train built a large part of his career on shitting on women who added nothing to the value, who were just thoughts, who were just trying to steal men's money, who just pranced around in bikinis. But now it's not a big deal because they're starting to sign Amaranth, the biggest one of those type of streamers. So I guess it shouldn't be a shock to anybody that pretty much everybody in the world, give it enough time, is going to be a hypocrite.